Listen closely, because this isn't just another talk. It's a wake-up call. Life isn't a rehearsal. You don't get to rewind it like a movie and choose a different ending. This is it. This is the only shot you have. Every second that slips through your fingers is a second you'll never get back. Too many people are living as if they have all the time in the world. They say, one day I'll do this, one day I'll change, one day I'll chase my dream. But one day is a myth that steals your destiny. Time is the most precious currency you will ever possess, and unlike money, once it's spent, it can never be earned back. Every tick of the clock is a reminder that your life is moving forward, whether you're ready or not. People often underestimate the value of a single second, a single minute, a single hour. But when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you realize that every great achievement, every extraordinary transformation, every meaningful legacy was built one moment at a time. The difference between those who build a life of significance and those who simply drift through existence is how they choose to use their time. Imagine time as sand slipping through your fingers. You can try to hold on to it, but it keeps flowing. You can't pause it. You can't rewind it. And the truth is, you don't know how much sand you have left in the hourglass. That uncertainty is not meant to scare you. It's meant to awaken you. Too many people act as though they have unlimited time. They delay their dreams, postpone their goals, and convince themselves that later is a real place. But later is where dreams go to die. Later is where regrets grow. Later is the excuse that keeps potential locked away forever. Look around you. How many opportunities have been missed because of hesitation? How many moments were wasted scrolling mindlessly, gossiping, overthinking, or simply existing without direction? Each of those moments might seem harmless on its own, but when you string them together, they form years of untapped potential. A day wasted here, a week there, and suddenly a decade has passed with little to show for it. Time doesn't wait for you to get serious. It doesn't pause while you figure things out. It keeps moving. Indifferent to whether you're using it wisely or not, the most successful and fulfilled people understand this deeply. They treat time as sacred. They know that every hour is a building block of their destiny. They don't give away their minutes carelessly. They guard their focus. They prioritize what matters, and they say no to distractions that don't serve their purpose. You have the same 24 hours in a day as anyone else. It's not about how much time you have. It's about what you do with it. Some use their hours to create, to grow, to serve, to learn. Others use those same hours to complain, procrastinate, and avoid discomfort. One choice leads to progress, the other leads to regret. Think about how you start your days. Are you intentional, or do you drift into them aimlessly? Do you wake up with a clear sense of purpose, or do you let the world dictate how your time will be spent? Every day is like a blank page. You are the author, and time is the ink. What kind of story are you writing? Is it one filled with action, growth, and impact, or one filled with hesitation and wasted moments? When you start valuing your time as the irreplaceable resource it is, everything changes. Your standards rise. You stop tolerating distractions disguised as obligations. You stop spending time with people who drain your energy. You stop indulging in habits that give short-term pleasure but rob you of long-term fulfillment. One of the greatest traps is believing that small wasted moments don't matter. But time compounds just like money. A few minutes of focus each day can build a skill that changes your life. A few minutes wasted each day can accumulate into months of lost opportunity. If you spend 30 minutes a day mindlessly scrolling, that's more than 7 full days a year gone forever. Imagine what you could do with an extra week every year. Imagine if instead of wasting time, you invested it in learning, creating, or building something meaningful. You have to become ruthlessly honest about where your time is going. Most people say they don't have time for their dreams, but the reality is they've simply chosen to give their time away to things that don't matter. Track your day for just 1 week. Be brutally honest about how much of it is spent intentionally versus wasted. You might be shocked by what you discover. Once you see where your time leaks are, you can begin to reclaim those minutes and turn them into momentum. Time is also the great equalizer. No matter your background, your resources, or your circumstances, everyone receives the same 24 hours. What separates those who achieve from those who merely wish is how they invest that time. Some people turn their hours into skills, businesses, art, legacies. Others turn their hours into excuses, entertainment, or complaints. The difference isn't talent, it's choices. There's another brutal truth: the clock doesn't stop for your fears. While you hesitate to take that first step, time moves on. While you doubt your abilities, opportunities pass. While you wait for the perfect moment, Someone else is using that same moment to act. Life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who use their time wisely and take bold action. When you deeply understand the value of time, procrastination loses its power. Distractions lose their appeal. You begin to see each moment as a chance to build the future you desire. You stop wasting time on arguments that don't matter, on tasks that don't move you forward, on habits that drain your potential. You become intentional, focused, and decisive. Another reason people waste time is because they assume they'll have plenty of it later. But life has a way of surprising us. You don't know how many days you have left. No one does. This isn't meant to be morbid. It's meant to inspire urgency. When you treat each day as a gift rather than a guarantee, your mindset shifts. You stop postponing meaningful conversations. You stop delaying important goals. You stop living as if tomorrow is promised and start living like today is your chance to make an impact. Look back at your life. There are probably moments you wish you could get back. Opportunities you wish you'd seized. Time you wish you hadn't wasted, but you can't change the past. What you can change is how you use the time you have right now. The present moment is your most powerful asset. It's your chance to rewrite your story, to make different choices, to align your actions with your purpose. Don't let another day slip away unnoticed. Start treating your time as a treasure. Plan your days with intention. Eliminate what doesn't serve you. Spend more time creating than consuming. Surround yourself with people who value growth, who inspire action, who make you better. Fill your days with purpose, and the years will take care of themselves. The greatest regret of those who reach the end of their lives isn't what they did, it's what they didn't do. It's the time they wasted on things that didn't matter. It's the moments they spent worrying about opinions instead of pursuing their dreams. Don't become one of those stories. Don't let your potential fade away in the shadow of wasted time. Inside every person lies a unique set of talents, gifts, and abilities that were never meant to be hidden or ignored. These gifts are not suggestions, they are responsibilities. They are the raw materials you've been given to create impact, to shape your life, and to contribute to the world in ways no one else can. Yet too often, people treat their potential like a hobby instead of a calling. They act as if it's optional, something they can pursue when they feel like it, when the timing is right, or when life becomes easier. But the truth is, potential isn't meant to be delayed. It's meant to be developed, sharpened, and unleashed. Think about the moments when you felt that spark inside you, the urge to create something meaningful, to push yourself further, to step into something bigger. That feeling isn't random. It's your potential calling out, asking you to step up and honor it. But what usually happens, fear creeps in, doubt whispers that you're not ready, distractions pile up, and comfort becomes the easy escape. So you push those feelings aside, telling yourself that someday you'll act on them. And little by little, that spark begins to fade, not because it's gone, but because it's been ignored for too long. Your potential is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. If you feed it excuses, it atrophies. But if you challenge it, stretch it, and commit to its growth, it becomes unstoppable. Many people assume their potential will wait patiently for them. They think it will always be there when they finally decide to pursue it. But potential doesn't wait forever. The longer you ignore it, the harder it becomes to awaken it fully. Opportunities pass, doors close, and moments that could have shaped your destiny slip away. Every talent you possess, every skill you have, every idea that stirs in your mind carries a weight of responsibility. It's not enough to simply acknowledge that you have potential. You must act on it. You must nurture it through disciplined effort, through learning, through pushing past the limitations you've accepted as truth. The world doesn't reward potential that sits quietly in the background. It rewards the potential that's been developed, refined, and boldly shared. There's a dangerous trap people fall into. They believe their potential will automatically turn into success. They think that because they're gifted, opportunities will fall into their lap. But talent alone is never enough. Unused potential is like a seed left in a drawer. It holds the promise of life, but unless it's planted, watered, and cared for, it will never grow into anything meaningful. Potential requires action. It requires you to make choices that may feel uncomfortable, but are necessary for growth. Many people bury their potential under layers of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. But fear is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're standing on the edge of growth. Every person who has achieved something extraordinary has felt fear, doubt, and uncertainty. The difference is that they didn't let those feelings dictate their actions. They understood that their potential was too valuable to waste on hesitation. There's also a tendency to compare our gifts to others, which leads to paralysis. People look at someone else's talents and convince themselves that theirs don't matter as much. They say things like, I'm not as talented, or someone else can do it better. But potential isn't about comparison. It's about contribution. Your gifts were given to you for a reason, and they are meant to be developed in your own unique way. No one can bring to the world exactly what you can. If you don't step up, something valuable is lost, not just for you, but for everyone who could have been impacted by your efforts. When you begin to take responsibility for your potential, everything shifts. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating opportunities. You stop hiding behind excuses and start building your abilities with intention. You begin to understand that your potential is like a flame. It grows when it's fed by action, consistency, and belief. Every hour you spend learning, practicing, or stretching yourself is like adding fuel to that flame. Over time, it becomes a fire that lights the way not only for you but for others. Responsibility for your potential also means holding yourself to a higher standard. It means no longer accepting mediocrity or half efforts. It means recognizing when you're coasting and having the courage to push harder. Growth doesn't happen by accident, it happens through deliberate effort. It's showing up even when it's inconvenient. It's staying committed when the results aren't immediate. It's refusing to settle for good enough when you know great is within reach. There's a deep sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you are honoring your potential. It's the feeling of alignment when your actions match your abilities and your efforts reflect the gifts you've been given. On the other hand, ignoring your potential leads to frustration and regret. That's why so many people feel restless even when their lives look comfortable. Deep down, they know they're capable of more. Comfort can quiet that voice temporarily, but it never silences it completely. You have to choose between the temporary ease of avoiding your potential and the lasting fulfillment of living it out. One leads to a life of what ifs, the other to a life of impact. One leads to regret, the other to legacy. And the bridge between the two is responsibility, the decision to take your potential seriously and act accordingly. Taking responsibility for your potential doesn't mean you have to figure everything out at once. It means taking consistent steps in the direction of growth. It means dedicating time to improve your craft, to learn new skills, to face your fears head on. It means seeking feedback, embracing challenges, and understanding that failure is not the opposite of potential. It's part of the process of realizing it. Potential is powerful, but only when it's used. History is filled with people who had extraordinary abilities but did nothing with them. Their names are forgotten because talent unused is talent wasted. Conversely, history also celebrates those who started with little but squeezed every drop out of what they had. They took responsibility for their growth, and through persistence, they transformed their abilities into something extraordinary. Think about this: if you don't develop your potential, someone else will be waiting for permission to use theirs because they were meant to be inspired by your courage. When you hide your gifts, you're not just robbing yourself, you're robbing the world of what you could have contributed. You never know who is watching, who might be encouraged by your journey, who might find hope in your example. Every day is a chance to either move closer to your potential or drift further away from it. Every decision you make, how you spend your time, what you focus on, whether you act or hesitate, either feeds your growth or starves it. There's no neutral ground. You're either stepping into your responsibility or avoiding it. The question is not whether you have potential. You do. The real question is whether you will honor it. Will you step up and take responsibility for the gifts you've been given? Will you push past fear, complacency, and distraction to develop them fully? Will you choose to become the person you're capable of being, not just the person you find comfortable to be? When you make that choice, something incredible happens. Life begins to expand. New opportunities emerge. Confidence grows because you're no longer living below your capabilities. Momentum builds, and with each step, you get closer to the life you were meant to live. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about refusing to let your potential go to waste. There is no greater tragedy than buried potential, but there is no greater victory than a life fully lived, where your abilities were not just recognized but maximized. Your gifts are your responsibility. Your growth is your duty, and your potential is waiting, not to be admired from afar, but to be activated through action. This is your time to rise and take ownership of everything you were created to become. Every moment of your life is shaped by the choices you make, the direction you move in, the opportunities you create, the person you become. They're all a reflection of the decisions you commit to daily. Some people spend their lives waiting for circumstances to change, for luck to appear, or for someone else to make the move that will alter everything. But real transformation doesn't come from chance. It comes from the decisions that define your destiny. Every choice, no matter how small it seems in the moment, compounds into the life you ultimately experience. Think about the power of a single decision. Deciding to get up early instead of hitting snooze. Deciding to speak up when it's easier to stay silent. Deciding to learn a new skill instead of wasting hours on distractions. These decisions may feel insignificant in isolation, but over time, they build momentum. They create habits, shape identity, and carve a path toward your future. In the same way, choosing to delay action, ignore responsibility, or surrender to comfort also builds momentum. But in the opposite direction, many people underestimate the weight of their daily decisions because they expect change to happen in giant leaps. They want the big moment, the dramatic shift, the overnight success. But destiny isn't built in grand moments, it's built in quiet, consistent choices. It's the daily commitment to growth, discipline, and purpose that separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. You are where you are today because of the decisions you made in the past, and where you'll be tomorrow will be determined by the decisions you make today. Decisions are powerful because they create direction. Without direction, life becomes a series of reactions. You drift from one circumstance to the next, allowing external forces to dictate your path. But when you make clear, intentional decisions, you take control of your journey. You stop reacting and start leading your life. You stop waiting for clarity to magically appear and instead create clarity through action. The reason so many people struggle to make strong decisions is because they fear making the wrong one. They get trapped in endless cycles of overthinking, weighing every possible outcome, waiting for absolute certainty. But the truth is, no decision comes with a guarantee. Growth happens when you commit to a choice and give it everything you've got, even when the outcome isn't crystal clear. The worst decision isn't the wrong one, it's indecision. Indecision keeps you stagnant, paralyzed between possibilities, watching opportunities pass by while others move forward. When you decide, truly decide, something changes inside you. You shift from hesitation to action. You stop entertaining endless alternatives and focus your energy on making that decision work. History is full of individuals who faced uncertainty but made bold choices anyway. They didn't wait to feel ready, they decided to move, and that decision changed the course of their lives. Another important truth is that decisions shape identity. Every time you make a choice, you're not just deciding what to do, you're deciding who you are. When you consistently choose discipline over distraction, you're building the identity of a focused person. When you choose courage over fear, you're becoming someone who acts boldly. When you choose excuses over action, you're reinforcing the identity of someone who avoids responsibility. Your life follows the identity you build, and that identity is forged through repeated decisions. The quality of your decisions determines the quality of your life. If you make decisions based on fear, you create a life built around avoidance. If you make decisions based on comfort, you create a life of stagnation. But if you make decisions based on vision, purpose, and growth, you create a life that expands beyond your current reality. Every decision is like a seed. Plant careless ones and you grow weeds. Plant intentional ones and you grow a garden that reflects your dreams. One of the greatest turning points in anyone's life is when they stop blaming their circumstances and start taking responsibility for their decisions. It's easy to point fingers at external factors. Family, society, lack of opportunity, bad luck. But while circumstances can influence your path, your decisions have the final say. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. And your response is a decision. The decisions that shape destiny are often the uncomfortable ones. They're the choices that require you to step out of your comfort zone, to face uncertainty, to risk failure. These decisions rarely feel convenient, but they carry the greatest rewards. Choosing to leave a toxic environment, to pursue a challenging goal, to confront a difficult truth. These are the decisions that build strength, character, and a future you can be proud of. There's also a myth that some people are just naturally decisive while others aren't. The truth is, decisiveness is a skill that's developed through practice. The more you train yourself to make clear choices and follow through, the stronger that muscle becomes. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, but over time, making firm decisions becomes second nature. You begin to trust yourself more, doubt less, and move faster. It's also crucial to remember that not deciding is, in itself, a decision. When you choose not to act, you're still making a choice. You're choosing the default outcome. Life will fill the vacuum left by indecision with whatever comes your way, whether it's what you want or not. The difference between those who shape their destiny and those who let life happen to them is this: the former make deliberate choices, while the latter let choices be made for them by time, chance, or other people. One of the most empowering things you can do is set clear standards for the decisions you make. Decide what kind of person you want to be and make choices that align with that identity. Decide what kind of future you want and make daily decisions that move you closer to it. Decide what values you will not compromise and let them guide your actions, especially when the path isn't easy. Decisions are also the antidote to fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty. It feeds on hesitation and grows stronger when you linger too long in the space between options. But once you decide, fear loses its grip. Action breaks the cycle of doubt. Momentum builds clarity. Even if the decision doesn't lead exactly where you hoped, it moves you forward, teaches you lessons, and opens doors you didn't know existed. Consider how different your life would look if you started making decisions based on your highest potential instead of your current limitations. What if you chose to act as if the future you desire is already within reach? What if every decision you made reflected belief in that future? Over time, those decisions would shape a reality that aligns with your vision. The beauty of decision making is that it gives you the power to rewrite your story at any moment. You can decide today to break a habit that's held you back for years. You can decide to pursue a dream you've buried under doubt. You can decide to change your environment, your focus, your priorities. One decision can alter the entire trajectory of your life. Every day you stand at a crossroads faced with countless choices. Some are small, like how you spend your mornings or who you listen to. Some are big, like the career you pursue or the relationships you build. But all of them matter. They are the bricks that build your future. Whether that future is strong and purposeful or fragile and scattered depends on the decisions you make consistently. No one else can make these decisions for you. You can receive advice, guidance, or support, but at the end of the day, you are the one who decides. You are the author of your destiny. And every decision is another sentence in the story of your life. Will it be a story of hesitation or one of bold, intentional action? Your destiny isn't waiting somewhere far away. It's being written right now through the choices you make. Decide to rise. Decide to act. Decide to become the person you're capable of being. The power to shape your future has always been in your hands. It's in the decisions you commit to today.